What's going on, Who Dat Nation? As usual, I'm your boy O. Today we're going to be going over the Saints Wednesday injury report. And also, the Saints decided to bring in a familiar face. By the way, if you love talking about the Saints and the Pelicans, that means that you have something in common with me. Why don't you hit that subscribe button? And also, my main channel, the 4KO, where I talk about movie reviews, trailer reaction, and also geek culture. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. Make sure you subscribe over there as well. Now look, the Saints Wednesday injury report is not looking good in my honest opinion. Some of the names on this injury report is very frustrating, especially coming before the game before the Bucks. Now look, I'm going to start from the top here. Defensive end Cameron Jordan. Hip, limited in practice. This is one of the big hits. Running back Alvin Kamara, rib, limited. Safety Marcus May, ankle, limited. Wide receiver Traquan Smith, shoulder, limited. Running back Dwayne Washington, hamstring, limited. And this is going to be one of the biggest names on this injury report. Quarterback Jameis Winston, back, limited. Oh, Lord. Tackle Landon Young, hip, limited. Running back Mark Ingram, ankle, limited. Guard Calvin Trackbaton, I think that's how you say his name, Trackbaton, illness, limited. He should be fine. Cornerback Alante Taylor, hip, limited. Cornerback Passan Abito, ankle, did not participate. Man, now look, if you didn't realize that we got 3 running backs right now on this injury report, and you're going to need to be able to run the ball against the Bucks this coming week. And not to mention, you're also going to be able to pressure the quarterback, so you're going to need Cam Jordan, and you're also going to have to score. So you need Jameis Winston. Now, some of us may not be as concerned about the Jameis Winston injury because they also feel like Taysom Hill can beat the Bucks because he did it last year. Right, Taysom Hill did it last year. He beat the Bucks last year. But I kind of feel like this is a different kind of feel this year. And the play calling with the Saints is much different than it has been in previous years. You saw that in the game, as the game with the Falcons, as the game progressed, I realized that the play calling really and truly was not playing to the strengths of this team and not playing to the strengths of Jameis Winston. But as you saw when the game went on, the play calling got a much better as it went on, and Jameis Winston was able to cut loose. Hashtag cut Jameis Winston loose. The best chance that you can have to win in the NFL today with a quarterback like Jameis Winston is to cut him loose. That is the success that's going on right now in the NFL. Even Tom Brady had to keep constantly going down the field to win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? If you really look at, what's the boy named Patrick Mahomes, goes down the field. You got to cut him loose. You know, you wanted Drew Brees to retire because you felt like he could not push the ball down the field. You got a quarterback now that could do so, so you got to cut him loose. And I'm just telling you that because the play calling needs to play to this man's strengths, and that's the way you're going to be able to put up points. But I don't think people really realize, I think the Saints average like just under 30 points a game with Jameis Winston as the quarterback, and that's what you get when you cut him loose. But, you know, this injury report hopefully could get better on Friday. You know what I mean? Because you don't need Cameron Jordan on there. You don't need Alvin Kamara. You're going to need Traquan Smith because he helps spread the offense out for the, so to get the defense a little confused. You're going to need Mark Ingram. But being as so, we got 3 running backs on this injury report. It's only natural that the Saints will bring back a familiar face. The Saints had signed Latavius Murray to the practice squad. And I think they signed Latavius Murray to the practice squad because either Mark Ingram or Alvin Kamara would not be playing this Sunday. So you're going to need to be able to sign a running back that knows your offense. But the offense that running back is used to is one that plays to the strength of the offense. Now, Dennis Allen have a challenge coming this Sunday. You got the Bucks. This is a very important game. We need this game. If the Saints can start 2-0 in the division, they're pretty much in a good running to make the playoffs, whether they fought at the end or not. They can actually heighten their chances to make the playoffs if they can start 2-0 in the division, let alone 3-0 in the division. You know what I mean? So hopefully this injury report get better, but I don't think that it's going to get much better. Traquan Smith, always injured. You know, Jameis Winston, I'm glad it's just back and not his leg. You know what I'm saying? Mark Ingram, ankle, Cameron Jordan, hip, Alvin Kamara, rib. And it goes to show you this. Look, I told you before we played the Falcons that it was going to be a hard-fought game. Now, looking at this injury report, I would say there has not been many games where this many important role players in the Saints offense and the defense actually made the injury list. The Falcons are beginning to be a very physical team. So the Saints really need to up their physicality, especially going against the Bucs, because the physicality is only going to get heightened as the season go on, you know, because you got to play the Rams too. So you got Aaron Donald on the defensive line. So Cesar Ruiz, I call him Cesar Ruin right now because I feel like he'll ruin your season. He needs to step his game up. If you really look at the pressure that the Falcons was putting on Jameis Winston this past Sunday, a lot of it was coming under Cesar Ruiz. So Cesar Ruiz needs to step his game up because right now he's about to face a good amount of defensive ends and not to mention a good defensive front line these coming next few games. And speaking of that, let's look at the Saints schedule real quick. Let's do that. Let's look at the Saints schedule. And let's just kind of run a pick 'em, choose 'em. You know what I'm saying? Let's just run a kind of pick 'em, choose 'em. All right. Let's go. Let's pull this whole schedule down real quick. All right. So right now, you beat the Falcons. Your next game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 12 p.m. Superdome. You got to win that game. The game after that, you're back on the road against the Panthers, another divisional opponent that you really don't know what you're going to get out of them. Defensive line might be good there. Then you play the Vikings, who I feel like the defense did pretty good against Aaron Rodgers. I watched that game, right? So you got to step it up. The Seahawks, their defense really haven't went down. Look at what they did to the Russell Wilson. The Bengals' defense is very decent. The Cardinals, I think you can get real easy. The Raiders, I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. The Ravens, another defensive opponent. The Steelers, another defensive opponent. The Rams, defensive opponent. 49ers, I think you can get them. Then you play the Bucs again. You go back at home against the Falcons, the Browns, the Eagles, and then the Panthers back at home at the end of the season. So the offensive line will have to step it up, right? The way that Jameis Winston was uncomfortable in the pocket this past Sunday cannot get us forward. Although I know this team is going to win many games because I feel like the offense will do so under the Jameis Winston program that I'm going to call it, hashtag cut Jameis Winston loose. But the offensive line is going to have to do a better job protecting Jameis Winston. And Latavius Murray coming back, I think it's a good thing, even though I really didn't like Latavius Murray because I feel like when we traded off Latavius Murray, well, Mark Ingram for Latavius Murray, I felt like the production in the backfield really did falter. You know, I think the Saints only had like 12 rushing touchdowns the year that Latavius Murray was the running back or whatever. And I think in the same year, you know, Lamar Jackson ran for like 16 or something like that on the line. It was crazy, man. The Saints didn't have no rushing touchdowns that year. I think Alvin Kamara had 4. I think Taysom Hill had 4. And I think Latavius Murray had like 3 or 4. Some crap like that or whatever, man. So hopefully, man, he could do a lot better this year. But if the offensive line don't step it up, he's only going to do worse. So you guys let me know what you think about the Saints injury report in the comments below. And like I said earlier in the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel for your boy O, homeboy O. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my main channel. I'm going to leave a link in the description below for that channel, the 4KO.